Commissioner's coming out from over your shoulder, so here's the Sonics pick.
With the 25th pick in the 2005 NBA Draft, the Seattle Sonics select Johan Petro from France.
International player, and the big man is Petro, who many thought would be in the draft last year. Actually had a quote-unquote guarantee during the draft last year. Chose not to come in. Fran Fraschilla covering the international players. Tell us about Petro from France.
I've gotten a chance to see this guy, Mike, and this is insurance against losing Jerome James. He's 7 foot. He's 19 years old. If he were a college freshman, he would have been a very, very good player. This is a guy that's athletic, strong, has an NBA body at 7 feet, about 240. Seattle can also elect to keep him overseas to get him some more seasoning, but I like this pick at 25. And remember, last year they took the high school center, Robert Swift from Bakersfield, California. So hopefully Rick Sund is hoping that one of these two young big guys can develop into a postman of the future.
Now, Swift didn't play much last year, but that doesn't necessarily mean Seattle thinks he's not going to be decent down the line.
That's right. I talked to Jack Sikma a few weeks ago. They are very high on Robert Swift, and with Jack Sikma working with Johan Petro, they got maybe one of these guys can develop into an NBA center, especially if Jerome James leaves.
Thank you, Fran. There is Petro, like the many. So the NBA invites approximately 16 people here, and many just come in on their own. And Petro, one of those, here for his draft night. He was in the same developmental league, by the way, as Michael Petro, who made an impact with Golden State, Boris Diaw as well. So a couple of more French players coming in. Obviously, Tony Parker gets a lot of the headlines. We're going to go to Seattle now via video conference and bring in the head coach of the Seattle Sonics, Nate McMillan. Nate, you take the big man from France. Is there any thought of keeping him over there in the short term?
No, we are really looking to bring him on board this year. We want to get him in summer league. First, I would like to tip my hat. If I had a hat, I would tip it to our scouts. These guys have been right on track the last few years as far as our draft picks. This is the guy we wanted this year. We feel that in the next 2-3 years, with the front line of Nick Collison, Petro, and Robert Swift, the future is really good for Seattle.
So Petro is a guy you can play with Swift, or are you talking about those three as a combo at your 4-5?
We think he can play with Swift. He certainly will play this summer with Robert, and we could take a look at that in a couple weeks.
It's the 28th of June. I guess that means you have 2 more days under contract. Is there any progress with the Sonics and your coaching situation?
You know what? This is all about Petro tonight. So we'll enjoy the draft pick of Petro tonight.
Under what circumstances will you be in Seattle come July 30th?
Mike, you're not listening. You're not listening
to me, Nate.
You're not listening. I won't comment on that. Right now I'm the head coach of the Seattle Supersonics. I've been working hard with the scouts and everyone else to bring in a young player that we feel can help this organization. And we feel tonight we got that young player in Petro. And I had an opportunity to work with him just a few days ago. I'm looking forward to working with him when he comes to Seattle Summer League.
You drive a hard bargain, you know that? I'll get you back. Thanks, Nate. Have a good summer.
Okay, Mike.
We'll talk to you. We'll find you in Seattle in a couple of weeks. Nate McMillan, the coach of the Seattle Sonics, joining us. One thing he wants to do, he's a lifer as a Sonic, and I think if he was given his druthers, he'd rather stay in Seattle.